Carlos.
Hey there, Michelle and Paul. Trevante Schmidt had his preliminary hearing today. He's the guy accused of putting a mask over his face, putting a handgun in his pocket, and walking into LNA Market. Now, when he does so, he pulls the handgun on the clerk and puts it to his face. Now, that was his first big mistake because the clerk is a former Marine, not this woman. His second mistake was this surveillance video, which caught it all on tape. His third mistake was that the clerk's dad was watching from behind. He came over, grabbed the bad guy from the arm. They struggled. They fell down here. Now, look at this. The gun went off, a bullet hole going right into the ice cream machine. Luckily, the gun jammed. They all fell to the ground. Now, that's when customers jumped into the fray, picking up pickle jars and bashing them over the head. Here's where the case stands now. Let's roll the videotape. Today, Trevante Schmidt walked into court for a preliminary hearing. Witnesses talked about how
he had a gun
and how he reportedly tried to rob the place. Only problem is the store owners and customers stood up for themselves. Detective Walter Capelli was asked about how the suspect, despite being armed, got himself into a pickle.
Were they armed with some other objects?
Yes.
What kind of objects?
Condiments, pickle jars.
The do-gooders used a pickle jar and other store items to break the suspect. In fact, at one point, he's kicked in what appears to be the face by an unknown man, even after one officer has him handcuffed. Still today, at times, testimony appearing to be humorous to the detective.
Do most robberies end with a suspect remaining at the scene of the robbery?
No.
Not very humorous for the commissioner when the prosecution had to dismiss a witness due to a language barrier they weren't prepared for.
I can see there's a tremendous amount of witness preparation that's been accomplished in this, Mr. President.
But according to the detective, Schmidt has confessed to the robbery and points out the man who was subdued with pickle jars and condiments.
He's seated at the defense counsel table wearing orange.
And this video may not help, the suspect quickly becoming known as being behind the pickle jar robbery. All right, back live here at LNA. You're looking at a live picture of that gun hole. Luckily, no one injured in that. Preliminary hearing continued until next Friday. Meantime, Schmidt jailed on 2 charges of armed robbery until the judge decides at the conclusion of that preliminary hearing whether he will grant him bond. We're live in Milwaukee. Carlos Vergara, CBS 58 News.